Hey, Susan Palmer here. This is my weekly studio update, and that was my interpretation of Chuck Berry's Johnny B. Goode intro. And one of my students is working on that this week, so that's why I thought I would start with that. I'm going to play it through a little bit slower. I know I kind of turned that ending into something a little bit different. I can't help it. So, and that's kind of what I want to talk about. I think it's really cool to learn something note for note, you know, as the record tells us to play it. And I think there's a lot of lessons in that. I think that's great. I also think it's really valuable to try to break apart a solo and kind of take what you can so that you can apply it to different things. And that allows room for people like me who can't play that 100% right on the spot. And so what I can do is kind of take some of those ideas from that and apply it to different tunes and different blues progressions and kind of break down what's going on in that so that I have something concrete that I can use. And I think that's really valuable because not everybody is going to be able to play that solo exactly like Chuck Berry did. But that doesn't mean that you can't get a lot out of that solo that you can use and apply to your own stuff. So I just want to break apart a couple ideas that I think are really cool and leave you with that for this week. So starting off, half stepping into the third of the B flat chord. So this is a 12-bar blues in B flat, and the third of B flat is the note D. So there's an immediate slide into that. So that's kind of a cool thing. And then here we're going to the fifth to the sixth. That's another really cool thing to do. So over a blues, right there, you got a lot of stuff. So even if you only got that far in the solo, you'd still have some cool things that you can apply to whatever key you're playing in, whatever blues stuff you're playing in. It doesn't even have to be a blues. That's just a really nice kind of line. Next thing that I think is really cool is double stops. I love double stops. That means I'm playing two notes at the same time. This time I'm playing the note F and the note B flat. And Chuck Berry is sliding into those. Oh, that's like, I remember being a kid and hearing that and just thinking that was the coolest thing ever. Just that slide. So that's a really cool thing. There's another half step he does into the third. That's a really neat line there that's got us shifting positions. And that's something, I do that a lot in my solos. There I was just kind of taking some liberty with that idea. So I'm half stepping into the D, playing the F and the G, back to the F, D, I'm sliding down to the C, B flat, and then I have G and F that I'm kind of playing with too. And kind of the neat note on this is that C. If you take that C, third finger, move that up a whole step there, you get into the D there, and then I've got this F right here. So now I've got this neat little grip. I can do all kinds of things with that. So that's a really cool kind of idea. One other thing he does before that, I forgot to mention, these double stops here. I've got an F and I've got another B flat. So the fifth of the chord and then the root of the chord there. Kind of a nice little growly thing. I like that, you know, that fifth being the lowest note. I think that's a really cool thing. That happens in the Jimi Hendrix, there it is. I think I'm in the wrong key for that. That's why I'm hearing that a little bit wrong. But anyways, having that fifth of a chord being the lowest note, I think is just, it's very enriching for that chord. So I've got that, and that's what he does right there at that point. Let's see. Then there's the bend. I'm using my third finger on the note E flat, and I'm bending that up almost a whole step. And then I'm either hitting, sometimes I think I'm hitting the double stop there of the F and the B flat, and sometimes I'm just hitting that note F. So kind of bending up from E flat to F. And there, I did it a little too much. I just put these 9s on my guitar, so I'm used to playing with 10s or 11s, and so these are a little bit of an adjustment there. So I'm going to blame my mistakes on the strings, like every good guitar player does, right? And so at the end, I think that's a really nice line. We're getting that 9 in there. Not that. That's a really cool thing. And then he does a rake. I think that's a really cool technique. That's guitar players use that all the time. So there's a few different ideas that you can pull from that tune and kind of use on your own.